I thought, coming in, North Dakota was the hottest team in the league. There's a reason why they're the first place team in the league. They've found ways to win games like that. They've found ways to win close games. And when you have the guy who will get my vote for Player of the Year, and Quentin Hooker, even though Jonah Radabaugh did a heck of a job on him tonight, other guys stepped up. Cortez Seals, who's a guy who really came on here of late. He did a good job of making some tough shots, but I just got to give North Dakota credit. That's why they're the first place team in the league. They got guys that understand their roles. They got two really good guards that can make plays when it matters. But our guys, to their credit, when they're not playing for anything, for them to come out and play as hard as they have and hard as they did. Against a team which now we've gone to overtime twice with, and there is no moral victories, but at the end of the day too, you can also have a group of guys that are not smart enough and don't have enough character to look forward to what the process will be that'll allow you to win these games next year, which we will. I have no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but sometimes you got to go through losing before you got to win, and but hey, that's the name of the game. But we're going to fight back and get back to work on Thursday for one more week of practice, and just keep trying to get better. That's all we're going to do.
Jordan mentioned that it doesn't make a difference who it is or where they're at in the standings or who's going to Reno and yada, yada, yada. That, the plan is always to, win and stuff. And that's easier said than done, but I thought your kids showed that tonight. We're down to 1 week left in the season. They have nothing to play for other than to go out there and play hard and let the chips fall where they may. And, they persevered, I think, through several points in that game where they could have said, let's just go through the motions, get this over with. Do you feel that's the intellect of this team that you've instilled in them, that they've stuck with now for, 3 months?
Yeah, and I would say probably probably 9 months since June 1st. It's a group of guys that, they've been committed since day one. But that's where you have to have guys, you have to have players with character, and that's why recruiting's so important. Because those guys' character withstands a test of times. It withstands hard times, and we've gone through some hard times. But when you have good kids, who are in it together, that try to build each other up and not break each other down, you can withstand those tough times. And through those tough times, you're only going to get stronger. And I truly believe we're going to be a lot stronger because of it. And and I said it's tough. I said those guys, it's hard to go in there every time on these close games and say woulda, shoulda, coulda. And at some point though, you have to win the game. But being in these situations will only help us next year to where now, you find a way to win them.
Jeff, you had a couple times where I thought, and then again, we're dealing with young guys, where another second before making a decision would have helped you. One of them was on a possession where I think Glotta took a three-pointer as the first shot in the possession with plenty of time left.
Yeah, in the second, yeah. That was
and another one,
a
couple other ones were turnovers on almost sometimes trying to do too much. Is that something to be precautious about?
Yeah, and it's something that we've talked about at length with Chaz, but that's also too where a guy like him and the makeup of our team right now. There's some things that that we there's some shots that he's taking this year. As I told him after the Idaho State game, those are shots that you won't play next year. So you got to understand the difference between a good shot and a bad shot. And now I have no choice but to play this year at times, taking some of those shots. But you got to understand moving forward that those shots, when they're not in rhythm, when they're quick shots, it's one thing if you've made 3 or 4 and you're on a heat check, but you got to understand that. And he's trying. I said Chaz plays his heart out, tries to do everything we tell him to do. And that's a team that, their best defense is their hands. Their best defense is creating steals. And, we went into halftime with 13 turnovers, and to turn the ball over, 7 times in the second half, it gave us ourselves a chance, because they're a team, when they do steal it, it turns into 2 points on the other end.
Yeah, they got quick hands. To your kids' credit, he only missed 2 free throws when it was crunch time.
Yeah, and that's where, you hope that, especially at home as you get better, that we knew coming out to start the second half that was going to be a big time, learning from the Idaho and Eastern Washington game where, we came out and struggled, and we kind of did the same thing. We missed a lot of easy layups. We missed a lot of free throws there in those first 5 minutes, kind of dug ourselves a little bit of a 10, 12-point hole. But to their credit, you could tell just in the look of their eyes was a lot different than the Idaho or Eastern game where they felt like, hey, we're done. I thought they were really resilient tonight, and unfortunately, it ended up being a loss. But at the end of the day, it's a small victory in the right direction.